Bellacino's Player of the Week, Landon Bailey, standout from Hurley High School. Landon had 115 yards rushing, 8 carries, 2 touchdowns, a 2-point conversion, 3 solo tackles in a tough overtime loss to Eastside this past week. You guys dropped that early season game to Sherman, West Virginia, and you dropped this game to Eastside. Now you got Van, West Virginia. You got to play those guys. This is really a must-win situation for you all. What do you think about going into it?
We should win it. We should have won the last 2 weeks. It's just small mistakes. You know, we've had 32 penalties the last 2 games combined, 300 yards rushing both games. So just small mistakes. We came out every night we've played. It's just the small stuff that's making us lose.
Well, you know, it's early in the season, so you can correct those mistakes. And I agree with you. I think you guys should be sitting undefeated right now, but that's not the case. And all you can control is what's in front of you. Wish you the best of luck, and once again, we'd like to congratulate you, our Bellacino's Player of the Week. Back in the saddle again, new season, new sidekick. Episode 6.1, After the Whistle, is now.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, welcome to the show. It seems like we've done this before. If there's ever such a thing as Groundhog Day, we've lived it.
Listen, we've had so much technical difficulties that I think we're finally over it. And we filmed for 3 straight weeks, and Union has not made my top 5 all 3 weeks, but them technical difficulties kept it off the air.
But we are finally back. Last week's episode was a silent episode. You couldn't watch it. Yeah, it was deadly, but there was no sound. I guess we could have.
Well, that's how they used to watch it back in the
day.
day.
Played some music with it. We might ought to upload that and just put that little Charlie Chaplin music with it. Nonetheless, this time, hopefully everything goes to press, and we will be dropping this one sometime Thursday morning.
We hope.
Unlike Krieger, who just dropped one a few minutes ago. All right, are you ready for some football? All right, before we do that, I want to show everybody this t-shirt we got here. This is the After the Whistle t-shirt. On the back of it, it says Southwest Virginia football, hard-hitting, in-your-face, old-school, slobber-knocking, mud-slinging, knuckle-bleeding. Put some dirt on it. Get out of my way, rock your world, head-smashing. We are in this together. Pound the rock. Fight for every inch. Friday Night Lights, that's the way you play the game, football. If you want one of these t-shirts, drop $10 in at the address below.
We need some new equipment. If you want to throw us some our way, we can get this baby going a little better. We have a lot of technical difficulties. A lot.
The address at the bottom, it's going to be up the entire show. All you got to do is drop $10 in an envelope.
And we'll throw a deal out there. If you buy 2, it's $20.
I think it's pretty sweet, ain't it?
Heck of a deal.
Heck of a deal. 1 for 10.
3 for 30. Really want to get on.
All right, folks. Well, here we go. Let's recap last week's games. Last week, well, first of all, before we even get into that, we've had as many upsets going back. Who would have thunk it that going into this potentially week 2, actually, Battle upsets Abingdon week 1 and almost pulled it off week 2, but they wasn't able to get it done. We'll start out with that game, John Battle, Virginia High.
Another upset was Twin Valley at Phelps against Phelps.
Twin Valley Phelps, huge
big win.
Panthers back on the football field again. That's good to see that. Virginia High at John Battle. Virginia High 13, Battle 6. I watched the end of this game. Battle took the ball all the way down the field, got right down there, ready to score, tie this thing up, and turned it over.
But that's why they tell you, don't give up the big play, make them drive the field, because the percentages are they're going to turn it over somehow.
That's right. And that's what happened. Virginia High gets that win, but Battle was staring 2-0 in the face, and it was just more than they could handle. And they decided not to go that route. Christiansburg at Abingdon, keeping it in the same area there on 81. Annihilation, got 45-7. I'm thinking Abingdon's looking at a very long season now.
Yeah, especially playing that 3A district or the 3A region there, and then the Mountain 7 stuff as we know. So it's a little shocking that score is for me. Not really sure what's going on in Abington, but that's definitely shocking.
Middlesboro, Kentucky, Gate City. Gate City hangs on 24-18, get the win there. Lebanon at Patrick Henry. This was a pretty good game, actually. Lebanon was game for most of the night.
What I went back and seen and was talking to some people that went, Lebanon was inside the 10-yard line 3 times.
Yeah, come out there with nothing.
Nothing.
Good speed, 353 yards. Get used to that name. He's going to be, you want to hear him all year long. 353 yards rushing, 28 carries, 5 touchdowns for PH. They improved, they improved now to 2-0. Graham at Galax, Graham 42, Galax 12. About what we expected, but Galax was game. They just got more plumb out. Richlands at Union. Big R starting out the season pretty rough. 5 yards rushing, 52 yards passing for Big R. 41-0, Union with the win. Richlands struggling to run the football. It's 2 weeks in a row now.
You know, you got to be able to run the football, and that's what football comes down to, is be able to run between the tackles. And that's 2 weeks in a row they've struggled with it. So
They'll get it going. I mean, the other team got pretty lucky. So
the team that shall not be spoken.
Yeah.
Wise at Marion. In my opinion, 2 teams going in 2 different directions, 2 programs. Marion 27, Wise 12. Marion lost that game last week to Chilhowie.
Wow.
10-game losing streak. They snap it now. For the Canes, it's good to see them get back in the win column.
Congratulations, Coach Ken.
But they do it at the expense of Wise, and I'm telling you, boys, I think Wise is in for a long season. What do y'all?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's not looking good for them.
But it is early.
That is right. A lot of things can change between now and week 10. Castlewood, all right, the Mustard Biscuit Brigade.
The Battle of the Beards.
The Battle of the Beards at Honeacre. All Honeacre 60-8. The Honeacre did not throw an incomplete pass all night.
that's tough.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's
Pretty darn good.
That's pretty good. Consider there's only 3 things that can happen when you throw a
And
pass.
2 of them's bad.
Yeah. All right, East Side. Homeacre, by the way, continues to draw a lot of.
They've scored 100-some points in just 2 and a half.
A lot of people getting smacked. I tell you what, boys. Speaking of Homeacre, let's change the subject just for a second here. How about that transfer portal? Is it not wide open yet in Southwest Virginia? I'll leave it at there.
Yeah, it's open.
Comment.
The portal is open. And the people that's mad's been in the portal for years.
Yeah, well, veterans. That happens. That happens. East Side at Hurley at the Clift. And now that we have reached this juncture and point in the show, here we're talking about the Clift. Let's introduce our new sidekick over here. This is Beef, Adam King. Adam is currently one of the assistant coaches at Hurley High School, and this is the man that we've talked about all these years.
About the Clift.
The Clift. Coach and I have both had the privilege of coaching him, and he's filling in for Coach Tester, who is just got a heavy plate right now. He's got a lot going on with his son playing ball, and now he's the new principal at Hurley High School.
At the Clift.
At the Clift. He's the principal. There you go. So we've got somebody here to tell you. All I can tell you is this. The food bill at Belsino's just went up a couple of notches now that he's joined the show. But he's going to give us insight and hopefully share some things with us and tell us what he thinks about football around Southwest Virginia in the days and weeks to come. So East Side at Hurley, East Side 38, Hurley 32, overtime loss. Tell us about this one. I mean, you were there on the side.
You know, it's one of those that I don't want to take nothing away from East Side when I make this comment, because East Side's much improved and got some really good talent over there. They're going to be a lot better football team this year than what people thought they were going to be coming into the season. But we hurt ourselves. I think we had about 15 more penalties this week. We had 3 personal fouls, that's 45 yards, and then we had a stop on 4th and 7, sacked the quarterback in the backfield 2 minutes ago. We win the ball game, and we had some penalties there. Now their drive continued to go. They punched it in, put us in overtime. We were unable to score, and they scored. So,
well, costly turnovers will get you in a game, especially a tight game like this. And we looked at it for preseason, and we're sitting there thinking, Hurley should be 2-0 at this juncture, probably going to be 3-0
But again, the season is young.
Yeah, the season's early.
Yeah.
You got time to correct this.
I think in simple fashion of saying is you know, you clean up the little things. That's what we need to do. Yeah.
All right, so Eastside, and a much improved football team as well, as you said. Thomas Walker at Lee. Lee finally gets the offense cranked up, 41-7. Tom Walker led 7-6, and it was pretty much that short-lived. Lee comes out. Of course, that's a big rivalry game there. You know, just holler down the road. Tom Walker, Lee. Rye Cove at Northwood. Rye Cove 42, Northwood 0. Rural Retreat at Eastmont. Rural Retreat. I'll get right in a minute. Rural Retreat 40, Eastmont 0. This is the 4th shutout in the last 10 games for Rural Retreat. Good to see them get that win. I ain't saying they should have won last week, but another one of them 14-12 games where they come up short. And last year that bit them in the end there. It really got them.
Beat Rural Retreat and Rural.
In the Rural. That's a pretty good one. I like it. I remember that. NARS at Holston. Boys, this was a good
I sent that video to everybody when I got it. Buddy of mine's boy there, Pruitt kid at NARS. That's Brian Pruitt's son. I went to college with him, and Foot was a very good athlete there, and it looks like the genes.
Foot?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
His name was Foot. We called him Foot, and Brian Pruitt's his name. He was a very good athlete, and like I said, the genes fell right in it.
Yeah, well, 3.3 seconds left. I don't know, the ball about midfield somewhere. NARS rolls out, quarterback throws up a Hail Mary, deflected pass, falls right into the hands of a NARS receiver, runs it in, and unfortunately, the NFHS camera only got about 80% of the play, but NARS with a, you know, like just a very rare opportunity and was able to
Well, these
execute.
kids, I think this is a group of kids that's played together all through Little League. I mean, it's one of those teams and basketball and everything. They've got a good group of athletes right now, and they're Coach Lowe and his staff is flying high right now.
They got Chilhowie coming into town this week.
And that speaks a lot. Also, not on Narrows, but Holston being a ball game. I'm like, a lot of people didn't think Holston would be there, and you know, it's kind of a little shocking if you look at football from that standpoint.
That's true. We got Chilhowie at J.I. Burton. Chilhowie 2-0 after
The Reed Sturgill era, baby.
56-20. 14-game losing streak at one point in time, and now a 2-game winning streak for the Warriors. So good to see them back in the win column. Grundy at Ridgeview. Guys, this was all Ridgeview, 56-7. Grundy punted the ball 7 times, had like 127 yards of offense. This is another one of those games that I think Grundy didn't need to be playing on the schedule. I mean, no offense to Ridgeview, I just think Grundy needed to be playing.
When you graduate as many seniors as Grundy did, it's just hard to play a AA schedule.
And it'll help either team in that situation.
And especially a program like Ridgeview.
And I would like to say before we go on, prayers for the receiver that broke his leg, got hurt.
Hackney, wasn't it?
Hackney.
Yeah,
Gabe Hackney, you're in our prayers, young man. Get well soon. I think it happened right off the bat, first minute of the game.
Guys, Jonah Looney was telling us about it. He said it was almost nauseating for him as a player to hear, see, and be right there next to it when it happened. Very, very bad injury. But I seen a report today that the surgery and everything went well, so that's a great sign. When, like Coach said, we wish him the best. Montcalm 54, Twin Valley 0. Montcalm just had too many weapons up front, and Twin Valley was never able to really get in this game. A couple turnovers early in the game, put them behind 8.
Early, the first play of the game.
Yeah. One hopper, the ball bounces on the shotgun snap. The kid picks it up, takes it to the house. It was pretty much playing from behind the rest of the night.
But the season is early.
That's right, Twin Valley's still 1-1 now in the season. Twin Springs at Unaka. Twin Springs 42, Unaka 0. Titans are now 2-0. That's a team I think you need to look out for over in the Cumberland District.
You naked?
You're not you naked, no, you naked.
Oh.
Tassel Riverheads, this was on Saturday. Riverheads 35, Tassel 7, but this game was a lot closer than the score was. Tassel was unable to punch the ball in. They did move the ball well. They just weren't able to to get it in when they got down to the red zone, and a lot of that had to do with some injuries that both teams had on both sides that affected their offensive output. But Riverheads, after suffering that loss last week, a week before last, excuse me, after suffering that loss, bounced back. But Tazewell falls 35-7. All right, that takes care of all of our recap for this past week. We're going to go straight in now, talking about just a couple of things real quick before we move forward. What do you guys think about the looking forward here to Virginia Tech? Got the win this week and playing Purdue. This is a good opportunity for the program. Will the Hokies come through, or will it be the same old, same old?
I'll say they come through. I watched them there the other night against ODU. The offensive line looks better, getting off the ball, bigger, stronger. And I really like what they've done with the receiving core. They're bigger and stronger as well, and they just look more athletic. They've done a really good job getting those guys in, but it's going to be, for a lot of expectations, a long process. But I would say over the last year, they look a lot better than what they did last year.
They win this week.
Yeah, I think they won. Yeah, they'll win this week. I think you're going to be like a 2-touchdown game, 30, maybe 36, 21, something like that.
What do you think about Emory coming into this season?
Was Emory right now? They went to, I think it was at Concord.
It was, yeah.
And beat them by 50.
Well, yeah,
That's
Concord
pretty
got them
good.
last year.
Yes, that's a big win for the Waspers.
Okay. All right, so a couple local teams, excuse me, keep an eye on. We'll talk about UVA Wise a little bit next week. All right, at this time, we're going to take a look at our top 5 in 1A, top 5 in 2A, and I'll start out with my 1A top 5. Early in the season, it's kind of hard to get a feel for this, but based on what we knew graduated, what's returning, and some expectations that we have for these programs that seem to be moving up the ladder, and some of them, of course, going back the other direction. We kind of use that to base these picks here. I'm going to start with 1A. I've got Hurley, even though they're 0-2, I've got Hurley coming in at number 5 in 1A. I still think they're a much better team, and I think they're going to be in the mix there to the end. Number 4, I've got Twin Springs. Number 3, I've got Rye Cove. Number 2, I've got Patrick Henry. And number 1, I've got the Honeacre Tigers. What about you, Coach?
I'm very similar to that. I think Hurley's at 5. Twin Springs and Eastside for me both are right there at 4. I know they can't really have a tie, but I'll go with Eastside just for the victory this past week against Hurley, and what I know there, I'm not going to see Twin Springs. I like PH at 3, Rye Cove at 2, and of course the Tigers at 1 and Honeacre.
What about you, Coach?
Mine will be Eastside at 5, Twin Springs at 4, Rye Cove at 3, the Patrick Henry Rebels at 2, and the Honeacre Tigers, the Air Raid, at number 1.
All right. Eastside's a team for me that I think, if things don't change much this week, I'll slide in all this.
And I'll make this comment. I think that's going to shape up to be really interesting. Rye Cove, Twin Springs, and Eastside keeps getting better. That's going to be tough going down the stretch.
And I'll tell you what, there's a big game coming up this week. We'll talk about it later involving Rye Cove. I think it's going to be the game of the week in Southwest Virginia. All right, 2A, we've got, I'll start out 2A. I've got Gate City at number 5. Number 4, I've got Ridgeview, the Wolfpack. Number 3, I've got the Tazewell Bulldogs. Number 2, Union Bears. And, of course, number 1, I've got the Graham G-Men. What about you, Coach? 2A.
Mine's very similar to that. I think Ridgeview, I got them at 5. Gate City's at 4. Tazewell's at 3. Union at 2. And Graham is 1. So, very similar.
Very similar.
Do I have to pick?
You got to pick somebody.
Division 2. All right. Number 5 is Graham's 8th grade. Number 4 is Graham's middle school. Number 3 is their 8th grade.
I thought their 8th grade was number 5.
That's the kindergarten.
Or their JV is number 3.
JV, number 3.
Their backups are number 2, and their number 1 team in Division 2 is the Graham G-Men.
What about that? Pretty consistent. I see a theme rolling through
No, I'm
that.
going to go, my top 5 will be Gate City at number 5, Tazewell at number 4, Ridgeview. Let's see. Let me take that back. Number 5, I'm going to go with John Battle. Number 4, Gate City. Number 3, Tazewell. Number 2, Ridgeview. And your number 1 team in the state is Tony Patron G. Man.
Kind of left somebody out there, didn't you?
I didn't leave him. Who?
No, that's his top 5, I reckon.
Who did I leave out?
You're entitled to it.
Who did I leave out?
All right. I mean, I do have an 0-2 team in my top 5, so I guess you can call it whatever you want. All right, well, that takes care of our top 5 for this week. Let us know who your top 5 is. Just put it in the comment section there under the video. Get some interaction going and tell us what who we should have put where and why. All right, folks, up next. Folks, up next is that time each week that we wait with bated breath for. That's the Stump the CRUG segment. And the Stump the CRUG segment works like this. We ask CRUG a question. Well, actually, he tells us the answer before we ask the question. That's just how good he is. These questions have been sealed in a hermetically sealed in an envelope and placed in a bank vault, True Point Bank in Grundy, Virginia. And they have been under the watchful care of armed security for an entire year. That's right. And it was just delivered here at Belsino's just moments ago in an armored truck with a Secret Service agent wearing a handcuffed briefcase. And that was delivered here just a few moments ago. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. So what I have here is my envelope. And in this envelope, we have the answer, and he is going to tell us the answer. Excuse me, I have the question. He's going to tell me the answer to the question. Would you like to do your osmosis this time?
Mistletoe.
Mistletoe.
Not camel toe. Mistletoe.
All right. Final answer is mistletoe. Is that correct?
Mistletoe.
Mistletoe. All right. Let's take a look. See what the question is. The answer is mistletoe. If athletes get athlete's foot, what do astronauts get? Mistletoe. Got that one right. Now we have number 2. You have not seen the contents of this envelope. Is that correct?
I have not.
All right. Tell us the answer to the question.
This one is an easy one. Thunderwear. Thunderwear.
Thunderwear. Thunderwear. Underwear. Underwear. Something you'd wear, yeah? What do you call shorts that a cloud would wear? Thunderwear.
You're welcome.
Maybe said he wears thunderwear too.
$3 pizza here, right?
All right, folks, once again, we have failed to stump the CRUG. If you have a question and a response that you would like for us to ask him, please put it in the comments. We'll see what we can do about getting it to him. We need interaction. And speaking of interaction, we need you to subscribe. All right, please subscribe to this channel. For the love of God, subscribe to this channel. We need to get this up to 1,000 subscribers so we can monetize this thing and make some money. Please help us. If you got a classroom full of kids, take them down to the computer lab, have them all sign on, with their phones, and tell them to subscribe, hit that little activation bell there, and that'll help get those numbers up for us, get that algorithm working in our favor, and we can make some money around here, and Pistol can get some new teeth. All right. Not that he needs any, but we'll get him some anyhow, won't we, Pistol? All right. All right, up next year, we've got this week's pigskin prognostications. Not a whole lot of games, so it won't take us long to get through it. We'll go down the list. Got a few of these games that we will have a little bit of discussion on. Otherwise, just give me your picks, gentlemen. The first one we have here First one has Grayson County at Rural Retreat. Great.
Grayson's, I think, pretty good this year, ain't
They didn't play well the other night, but they won. They got the win.
they? Where's it at?
At Rural Retreat. I think this is going to be a tight one.
I hate to go against Big Jamie, but I think I'm going to take Rural Retreat.
You ain't going to go against
Nope.
it. All right, what about you, Larry?
I like Grayson County. We'll see how it plays out. Maybe wrong, but I'm feeling Grayson County.
Okay, I'm going to go with, I'm going to take that Rural Retreat defense in this one here. I'm going to go with them, give them the nod. The fact that it's at home, hope they can pull it out, but I believe this is going to be another tight one. Matter of fact, if you remember last year, it was this game right here that they dropped and kind of put them in that spiral. Northwood at East Montgomery. This is a bellwether game for you because you got both these
Yeah,
opponents
we
on the
play
schedule.
both.
I have no clue on this one. I'm going to go with Northwood. I think they may have a little bit of an edge on this one.
Yeah, I'll go with Northwood as well.
Where's it at?
It's at East Montgomery.
I'm going with East Montgomery.
All right, East Montgomery. Chilhai at Nards.
Nerves.
I'm going with Nards in this one too. I think Chilhai got to get off to a great start, but I don't think they've got it.
I'm gonna go with Chilhowie on the upset. I think 2-0. I mean, I'm not saying they're.
I tell you what, people gonna be talking. They pull this off.
Yeah,
So that's
I think they're. Even if they lose it, I think they play very well. I think
If you lose, if you
Yeah,
lose.
that's
It ain't
true.
no winning. You
Well, for-
pick them or you don't.
Right.
Ain't
okay.
no halftime wins or first quarter wins.
They are a sports fan, but they're not. Let's go Chilhowie. I like Chilhowie.
all right. PH at J.I. Burton.
PH.
Yeah, PH hands down this one. I don't think it's
Offensive line dominates. I think.
right. Burton's just not capable at this time of beating him. I don't think. Holston at Battle. This should be a darn good game.
I'm going John S. Battle.
I would consider that an upset. I'm going to pick Holston in this one, but I would say I think this could be if Battle can win this, you know, and get 2 out of these first 3, and knowing that they could have won that other one, this could be end up being a big boost for them, or it could be a setback for them.
I think it'll be a good one. I like Coach going Holston. I like Battle in this one. I think Holston's again. It's going to be a close game, but I think Battle pulls it off in the end.
All right. Lebanon at Marion. This will be worth the price of admission. This ought to be good. It's at Marion. I'll let you go first.
I'm going with Lebanon.
Lebanon.
I like Lebanon as well.
All right. I'm going to shake things up, boys. I'm going to pick Marion in this one. Fact it's at Marion. I'll give them a little bit of an edge, not much. Richlands at Tazewell.
Backyard brawl. Right?
Backyard brawl. I'm going to go first here. I think Tazewell handles this well. Richland's definitely going to make a game out of it. It's going to be closer than it ought to be.
I'm going with the Bull Puppies.
Yeah, I was going to start barking over here. I think the Bulldogs get her done.
All right. Radford at Virginia High. Radford across the board here.
They beat George Webb.
Abingdon at Gate City.
Gate City.
I agree with you on this one. Gate City. What about you, B?
Yeah, I got to go with Gate City.
Ridgeview at Wise.
Ridgeview.
I think Ridgeview big.
Yeah.
I'm calling this in 51-12 right here. Ridgeview big across the board. Science Hill at Union. I don't know anything about Science Hill. I know that it's a big school.
Is that a real game? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not picking Science Hill. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's at Union.
The Science Hill Hilltop?
Yeah, Johnson
Yeah.
City. Just making sure we're on the same team here.
The Elizabethans already whipped them this
They
year.
beat them by 30, so.
I'm going with Union. That's all I need to know right there. What about you?
I like Science Hill.
All right, what about you? It's going to be interesting.
Science Hill big. I'm talking big.
Yeah.
That team don't know what's going to hit them.
That team. All right, Tom Walker at Castlewood Mustard Biscuit Brigade's hosting this one. It's on a Thursday night. I think Tom Walker takes care of business here and goes 2-1.
Yeah, I like Tom Walker as well.
Tom Walker.
All right, East Side at Riverview, West Virginia.
Now, that's going to be a game to watch. See, because Riverview got two transfers in, a quarterback and a running back. And they go to Riverview, right?
They go to Riverview, so it's 5 officials. There's going to be 16. It's East Side's 11 versus 16.
Yeah, basically. Absolutely.
And that's not an exaggeration.
That's how it is.
I think it's going to be awful hard to go in there and win. I'm going to give East Side the edge. I'm going to overcome the obstacles, and I'm going to give it to East Side. But
I'm going East Side.
If I was putting money on it, I'd be very hesitant to do that. What about you?
I'm going to say East Side, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I won't be surprised if it ain't like 58-48 or something. I'm talking 400-plus yards, both teams.
All right, big game, boys. Here it is. This could be a rematch of Region D Championship. Excuse me, a preview of the Region D Championship. Homeacre at Rye Cove. This is going to be a good game.
Yeah.
This, I think, is the game of the week right here. Homeacre going to the Cove. Cove's got a lot of momentum. I just think Homeacre's got too many weapons. If Rye Cove can isolate that passing game of Homeacre, force Homeacre to run the ball, which they can run the ball well, but if they take away what Homeacre wants to do, Rye Cove's got a chance, but I don't think they can do it consistently for 4 quarters, so I'm picking Homeacre.
I'm going with the Tigers.
What about you, B?
I'm going to go with Rye Cove.
Shaking things up.
Yeah, it's got to be different than you guys.
All right. Hurley at Van, West Virginia.
Hurley by 50 or more.
Hurley's in a must-win situation. I'm gonna pick Hurley as well. I'm sure you are.
Yeah, I'm not going to respond to that. I think everybody knows.
Now, this Van, West Virginia, is it a van down by the river?
It's a shaggin' wagon, baby.
Okay. This van's a rockin', don't come knocking. Man, you can do all kinds of cool things with the mascot there for Van.
But we're also the Bulldogs.
The Van Bulldogs. All right. All right, next we got UVA Wise at Thomas More, Kentucky. I think the Cavs take care of business here. I'm going with them.
The Cavs.
Well, they gave me a degree, so I think I'll take them.
All right. And next one, this is a pretty good local game. Emory and Henry, Bluefield State.
Emory.
Yes.
If they did that to Concord last week.
Still don't have a chance.
I'm going with Emory as well, but I mean, this is a good opportunity to just go up 460 or 19, excuse me, and catch the ball game there.
Is it a night game?
I don't know about that.
It's at Mitchell Stadium, right?
Yeah. All right, and our last game, our last pick of the week is Purdue at Virginia Tech. I think Hokies take care of business here. What about you, B?
Yeah, I think Hokies take care of business. But I do have a question. Is the gentleman, I can't have his name, sorry about that, but is the gentleman from Graham still on Purdue's team? Because that's kind of like a coming home party, I feel like, for him.
Never thought about that.
Is it Cam Allen? Is that his name? I may be wrong, and if I am,
Yes,
I'm sorry.
for Graham, he plays.
I think he's still at Purdue.
Yeah, he
So
plays
it's kind of a coming home party
defensive
for him.
back.
Oh, that'd be good. That would be a welcome.
Yeah, big welcome home for him, and I think Tech gets it done, but I was just thinking about that.
You got Tech?
Virginia Tech.
All right. That's our picks for the week. A lot of good football coming up this Friday night. Get out and catch a game. If I was recommending the game to catch, it'd be Homeacre at Rye Cove. If you can't get that one, hit out on the 81 there. Watch Holston at Battle. I think you're guaranteed to get your money's worth with those two. And I also think the Grayson, that rural retreat game, will be well worth the price of admission. So catch one of those games this past week. Fellas, that does it for our show. You guys have anything to add before we head out of here?
No, good luck to the local teams.
All right, until next time, I'm Coach Moore.
I'm Beefy.
Coach Krieger.
Reminding you that you can't believe everything you hear, but you can repeat it. Good night.
Ready,